push the go live button, which
I did. I did indeed. I pushed the hey, good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning, and California homeless camps. We're going to talk about the development of this California homeless camp. In particular, it's more like a city than a camp now. I mean, we're back to Hoovervilles, and we're looking at essentially the development of what should be considered homeless city states. What say you, Mario?
well, yeah, well, in California, you've seen essentially it's a two-tier society at this point. Okay, there are the very rich, and there are the peasants. Okay, in fact, I wouldn't even call them serfs because serfs at least are gainfully employed. All right, it really is more of a like that movie Elysium with what's that actor's name? Matt Damon. Okay, where you've got the elite living in like this orbital like this orbital space station, right? And then the
Yeah.
rabble live in overpopulated concrete jungles below. Basically, yeah.
Or have you ever seen Ready Player One?
No, I still haven't. I don't.
Okay,
You tell me all the time to watch things and read things, but Mario in fact ingests no new media. Okay.
okay. Ready Player One, excellent film. Especially it really scratches that nostalgia itch for like 1980s pop culture.
Yeah.
Very good with that. But the story there is after the corn syrup wars, we've come to this place. Everybody lives in what they call the stacks, and these are freaking like skyscrapers made out of stacked trailer park, like double wides and RVs,
Yeah, I've seen clips of it.
and they're just, I mean, literally stacked on top of each other. Oh, that's the kind of thing you're talking. Now that's more a critique of that film. That part of that film is more like doomsaying about the dangerous population explosion, overpopulation, overcrowding, etc. So
Some
obviously, we already know that's
Malthusian,
not going to be a problem, right?
Malthusian bullshit. That's right.
The entire world is currently at below replacement birth rates, with the exception of a very small number of the kinds of places that you don't want population increasing.
Yeah, it was only like in the 2020s that we finally turned that point in India, where they are now at just below replacement level. Okay, so finally, feminism doing its work there. Feminism doing its much required work in India. Uh,
Yeah, nobody needs feminism except for India.
India needs feminism. That's right.
It did wonders for China.
For a while, yeah, they took it too
Because
far.
make no mistake, feminism is how you get the one child policy.
Um,
Okay,
well,
so
yeah, yeah,
we've wildly
feminism.
tangented away from the homelessness thing. Let's talk about how California got its homelessness problem. I've got receipts.
Well, the biggest thing I guess would be okay. One, incredibly expensive state to live in because the state sucks up a massive amount of the GDP for various social programs. Okay, various. They have the most unsustainable, highest paying out state pension fund, CalPERS. All right, in the country. Second, maybe I think the only more egregious example might be in Illinois and Cook County for Chicago. All right, but otherwise they have a pension system where boomers are living in perpetuity on golden parachute pensions, right? That no other generation would ever have access to, and it really sucks up a massive amount of the state budget. So CalPERS is one reason. All right, the other is they let in the entire third world over the course of 4 decades, right? With
Yep.
basically with no stopping it. Ronald Reagan famously signed an amnesty in 1986, which effectively cemented, refounded California as a blue state in perpetuity. You have, because the Democrats have been in power so long, they have been able to gerrymander the state into a permanent, so that they have a permanent coalition. Um, and also, you've got like Silicon Valley there, okay, which is pushing which massively pushes the the consumer price index, like inflationary pressures, like out of control, because you have like essentially Elysium around Palo Alto, and then the rest of the state south of it is a ghetto, and then north of it are, I don't know, probably remnants of the hippie days. Okay, just trying to eke out essentially a quasi-libertarian kind of lifestyle, but which means dude weed, bro. So
And
yeah,
and,
state's fucked.
part of the point that cannot be overstressed, Mario, you mentioned importing the third world, and that is a contributing factor. But
Proposition 187 in 1992 opened up state benefits to illegal aliens in the state of California and government
correct.
services. Okay.
But stick with me here. That and but the point I was getting at is it is in fact California's state policies that create the homelessness problem,
Hmm.
right? In as much as there's a problem with hostile foreign invaders in California, um, the fact is that they're employing a lot of those illegal aliens. A large number of the illegal aliens in California are working illegally in various agricultural interests, under the table, doing janitorial work, et cetera, et cetera. As we've seen, uh, the more Trump ramps up rhetoric and policy and activity around deporting all of the hostile foreign invaders, the liberals, especially in California, they're complaining, well, who's going to do my slave labor? But you keep hearing them, well, hey, my gardener's Mexican, my cook's Mexican, my this, my that. Well, statistically, it's interesting that the majority of people who are homeless in California currently became homeless in California, right? So we've talked about this story on the show before. There was a church. It's been a long time, so I don't remember the name of the church, the details, but there was a church in New York that they they couched it all in charitable giving and whatnot. But what they did is they rounded up a bunch of homeless people in New York City and put them on airplanes with one-way tickets to freaking Hawaii.
Yeah, I was going to say there is such a thing as homeless migration. Okay, it exists. Homeless will
But the
routinely.
thing about homeless migration is, for something like what I'm talking about, where the church sent a bunch of them to Hawaii, uh, that required external funding, right? Now, you get more homelessness, the better your annual weather, the higher your rate of homelessness is likely to be, right? We're not hearing about massive homelessness problems in Northern California. They're they're like San Francisco Bay and below, right? So you don't get nearly as big a homeless problem if you get if you're getting 6 or 8 months of heavy snow on the ground. That makes homelessness tricky. Like when I lived in Maine, for example, when I was a teenager, of course we had some homeless people, but you only saw them in the summertime. They would go and break a window or go and shit on somebody's doorstep. They go commit a minor infraction and get themselves locked up for the winter. They do it every year so that they could spend the entire winter in jail, 3 hots in a cot, and then they'd get back out when the weather was nice,
Right.
right? It made it damn difficult to get your hands on whiskey and beer as a 16, 17-year-old kid in Brunswick, Maine. During the wintertime, you had to have a friend who had an older brother or something. But summertime, it was nothing to go trade some airplane model glue or just straight cash, or hey Calvin, I'll buy you a sub sandwich if you'll
Yeah.
take my money and go get me a handle of Jack, right? Um,
Hey guys, it's Old Man Willie. We're in beer today. Yeah, you fucking little peckerheads. Let me get $5 on the top. I'll get you some ice house. All right.
for clarity,
Yeah,
for
I'll punch you in
clarity,
the fucking
I
head,
was
kid.
not making up a random character. We would literally feed Calvin, and he would go and buy us booze, right?
Right.
Nobody carded us for cigarettes, but Calvin would go and buy us booze. That was the hard one. Um, but in California, the majority. Let's see the UCSF Benehoff Homelessness and Housing Initiative study found that 90% of adults experiencing homelessness in California became homeless while living in California. 75% of those were still in the same county where they lost housing. The majority of homeless come from within. Uh, and and they all cited, the vast majority of them cited the same complaint. Their housing costs outstripped their wages.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people aren't even unemployed. They're homeless because California is nightmare fuel on the housing economy. A lot of that is due to overburdensome regulation, right? We talked about after the California wildfire from Karen Bass. Trump called out Karen Bass on stage like, "Hey, I say we let them start building today." And you remember having this conversation on the air, Mario. She said, "Well, we're assessing things. We want to make sure that it's safe to let these people back onto their properties." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! If an
That's another.
active volcano erupted on my property right fucking now,
Yeah, I know.
right, the smart thing might be to leave, but this is my property. You don't get to force me out."
Yeah, I need my guns and my gold. Okay, it's worth my life. Now get the fuck out of my way. I need, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The other.
if the mouth of hell opens up here and
Yeah.
demons and zombies start pouring out, if I choose to take up arms and just start killing werewolves,
No, just break out the shotgun.
that's my business.
Rip
That's
and
my business and
tear.
not yours. And if you disagree with that as a government official, then I am owed back every dollar of tax money I've ever paid because I paid that money under duress, but in the context of accepting the social contract, which assumes that for the consideration of my lost wealth, I'm being compensated with services and the protection of my rights by the government. If those two things are no longer correct, then I have been defrauded.
I'm just thinking like a portal to hell opens on my property. I'm like, okay. Grabs rifle, inserts ear pods, play Ultimate Doom OST. Rip and tear. All right. Okay, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's
hey,
go.
I'm ready. I have more than one chainsaw.
Oh, yeah. Also, we one thing, minor note, you might want to mention as far as in California, it's a, it's a it's a nightmare regulatory state. The cost of doing business is basically it's unaffordium unless you got some kind of a
Unaffordable.
special unaffordium. You got some kind of unless you're like from a unless you're a non-white male and have access to loans that no one else has access to. Okay, then the idea of starting a business in California, you can pretty much forget about it. So
Yeah. So let's talk about what brought this up. So homeless camps are morphing into larger homeless cities in Los Angeles, and this is in the Koreatown, which surprises me. You'd think the roof Koreans would have some concerns here, but a massive homeless encampment in Koreatown has grown into what neighbors describe as a city of its own. Hey Mario, how's my audio coming through?
fine.
Is it? Let me.
No, I don't. It sounds fine to me.
Is this
I
better?
don't know. Maybe push the button. I'm not a sharpshooter like Cameron. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Is this better?
if I can hear you, that's good enough.
Okay. Well, we'll roll with that then. So,
Yeah.
a homeless encampment in Koreatown has grown into what neighbors describe as a city of its own, complete with a tennis court, garden, barbecue pit, and even illegally rigged electricity, according to the New York Post.
Okay. 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 Stop right there. The moment I read that, the first thing that came to mind was like Fallout 4, and you've got like the town builder like editor mode. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, dilapidated shack 1, 2, and 3 with a dirty mattress inside on the floor. All right. We got okay, install shallow well pump. Okay. Uh, crude generator with unjacketed wire going to each dilapidated shack, and then like a sad looking garden with like sad looking pumpkins in it. Okay. This is like straight out of Fallout. All right. This,
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
You're building a homeless camp in Fallout. Yeah.
Yep.
This is Los Angeles today,
That's right.
complete with spiteful mutants.
Super trans mutants.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So the reason why people are sleeping here is because you leaders are sleeping on not taking initiative and action to clean this place up. Resident Daniel King told ABC 7. So, yeah, I mean, I guess this is their garden. Remember, Mario, you remember the pictures? Remember the pictures around Chaz Chop? They had their little. They tried to do gardens in the local parks and
Yeah.
utterly failed. Utterly failed to grow anything.
They didn't even till the grass before they laid.
Right.
I mean, whatever, man. Fucking.
Oh, you don't want to harm the indigenous folk. Shut the fuck up. If you do not till, it will not fill.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was embarrassing. It was like potted plants laid down across soil, laid over cardboard, and then there'd be one guy high on drugs, like doing performative dances in the garden. Yeah, it was you know, Monsanto was getting nervous there for a minute.
So, like, our garden, and I say garden, it's I've got like I don't know, about a quarter acre on the property dedicated to just growing vegetables here. We did not till the ground before we planted there. Instead, I bought a dump truck full of topsoil and spread it out. We're growing stuff there now, including cover crops, vegetables, and even some just pretty flowers because they arrived. But when we get to the next stage where we go to plant again, we will till. That's but I bought a dump truck full of dirt and took my tractor and shoveled the dirt into place. Right? But yeah, these guys went out there. Did they even use garden tools? Anyway, okay. Gardening is not for the hippie.
Well, okay. I'm gonna have to give you some little pushback on there, as Cameron would say.
Good luck.
My mom used to be a hippie, okay, up in Vermont, right before she married my dad. She did have a nice little garden, right? She also grew her own pot, and she also had a goat that she would milk, and for milk and make cheese out of. All right, so my mom was a actual hippie who ran a garden. My mother's also a master botanist, or not master gardener, okay, not botanist. But
so Mario, I'd like to point out there was a key word there or a key phrase there in your story, and it's an important one. Your mom used to be a hippie.
Correct.
She didn't stay that way.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your facts are. Okay. I have my own little anecdote. All right. Therefore you're wrong. All right. And
I've defeated your feelings with facts and logic.
Yeah, Chris. Well, if that's true, how do you explain my feelings? Yeah. What now?
Mario, we went to basic combat training around the same time. We went through Bravo Company at DLI together. I know you. You don't have feelings.
I have sensations. Well,
yes, but none of them are useful. So yeah. The post writes that residents say the camp created safety concerns, with one woman telling ABC 7 she avoids walking her dog near the site after being approached by people from the encampment. Oh yeah, this up here. Neighbors say they've watched people pry open a streetlight, install a surge protector inside, and run extension cords across the street to power the camp. Thank God it hasn't rained in a while, said Sungmin Lee. Well, it's a fire hazard. Then they run the cable across the street, and it's a trip hazard for everyone. Okay.
You could tell something though just by that. It was an actual electrician who would have done that, which means that the people living in the homeless camp aren't exactly unskilled people. They're just people
Right.
who were basically priced out of the economy. All right, an average bum is not going to open. Look, I've seen videos of in Africa of Africans trying to open up transformers to get the oil out of it because they want to use it as oil to cook food or whatever.
Yeah.
The results are horrifying. All right.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, opening up a street lamp and just plug it in, not quite that simple. Like
No, it's not.
an actual electrician must have done that.
Yeah. See, and I can tell you that, yeah, this is something I could do. I was an
Yep.
electrician, and I've been electrocuted several times.
Mhm.
It's not the one you want. I've
Yeah.
never been electrocuted up a light pole. I was electrocuted once on top of a tall extension ladder up. The, this was one of those moments where a rational person might just have to ask the question: did God want me to stay here? I was on top of a metal ladder in a metal building, working on a junction box that should have not had power in it, and this is a little in the weeds. There's inside of a basic wall outlet. There are 3 wires, right, that
Yeah.
come into it. One of them is the power wire. One of them is the neutral wire or the unbalanced load wire. One of them is the ground. There should, if it's operating correctly, there should always be power on the hot wire. There should never be power on the ground wire, and the unbalanced load carried off by the neutral. If everything's working correctly, that wire should also not have a charge on it, right? But it always does because nothing's ever no system is ever perfect. So it's actually more dangerous to get hit by that white wire, which usually the white wire in there that carries the unbalanced load, because it's dirty power. It's not clean, it's not the same thing that's coming off of the circuit.
It's not a steady
Right.
wavelength. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
So
it's heart attack generator is what it is.
I opened up this box. To add a circuit to it, and I had checked the power. I had turned it off at the breaker. There shouldn't have been power in there. It was at a strip mall, so it was getting bleed from somewhere. This neutral wire was getting bleed from somewhere. I bit into it, it locked me down, and I was locked down and just for I don't know how long. I don't know how long I was stuck there, paralyzed by the electric shock. And this was on Abercorn in Savannah, Georgia, when lightning struck the building and knocked the power out to the entire block. I'll take it.
Yep. I've been electrocuted one time. It was when I was a little kid. Sorry, Jiggly, I can't help it. I woke up this way. I woke up this cute. Okay. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Anyway, I got electrocuted once as a child, probably like 5 years old, and it's like a standard swing set, okay, with like the A-frame on either side, bar, swings, right, all made of steel. I'm standing on the A-frame, okay, and my mom's mowing the lawn, okay, and she is mowing underneath the swings, and the chain link from the swing touched the spark plug, right, on the lawnmower, and I'm just standing there like it's the eerie. You can't move. Like you're literally locked in. You can't
Yep.
move. It's the eeriest feeling. This happened like nearly 40 years ago. Okay, I still remember that sensation. It's not something you forget, right? And then my mom looks at me like, "What the fuck's going on with you?" And then she looks down and kind of sees the metal on the swing touching. She sees what's happening, and she's like, "Oh my god!" She pulls the lawnmower away, and I just go like a cartoon. Clunk, flat back to the ground. I'm like, "Oh, I'm okay, Mom. That was weird. Can I have ice cream?" Yes. Okay, cool. That's right.
Yeah, I see some comments here. Pitt Danny said something about you get hit with 220, you won't talk about it. No, I've been hit with 220. Patrick Brown says I've been hit with 277. I'm mostly okay. Patrick is mostly okay. The most I've ever been hit with was 480, and I have also been hit with 220. The most I've ever been hit with was 480. That was the time that Steve Rodemeyer hit me in the face with the 2 before. It's that one was harrowing.
Jigglypuff is not American, it seems.
We've just learned something.
Yeah, Jigglypuff talk about 110 volt is for pussies. All right, Jiggly, where are you from? From the UK? We're analysts. We will extrapolate multiple pieces of information from one piece of information you give us, Jiggly. Keep that in mind. All right.
Come piss with the big dog's 240. Oh, I've fucked with 240 before. It's that could be a problem. That's tricky.
240. What are you talking about? Like you talking about a MIG welder? Are you a welder, Jigglyplum? Because that's the amperage of a Miller MIG welder machine.
So let me bring this back around. Like I said, I got hit with 480 one time. That was working a control panel, so it was a much larger system, right? One that runs on thousands, right? And the 480 is the control system that I was working on, right? And so in that one, because of the nature of the system, this was in a big chemical plant. You couldn't power it down; you had to work it hot, and there were safety precautions in place. And somebody walking by bumped the panel door, and the panel door swung in and caught me by the elbow. It shouldn't have happened. It was just a freak accident. Caught me by the elbow, and that grounded me out, and I got zapped. It was, and messed me up pretty bad. And Steve knocked me off of it. So, and I say that to say this:
should be dead, dude. 480, like that's ludicrous.
Yeah, well, and working a hot panel at that level was actually relatively routine work, maintenance work in that kind of a plant, right? Sometimes it's just how you do. It's just how you have to do it. I think that's less the case today. We're talking over 20 years ago. But what I was getting around to is that was something that I was doing as a professional, as an experienced professional that had been doing it by the time this happened, I'd been an electrician for probably 5 years. And that was normal. That was a normal job for somebody who knew what they were doing, that happened to have a problem, that happened to have a freak accident happen in the middle of that. So what Mario pointed out earlier, these guys climbing up a light pole and breaking it open to wire in, according to the story here, they basically wired in a splitter, a surge protector, right?
Yeah.
So for them to do that, they had to cut the plug off the end of the cable, off the end of the wire, strip the insulation back, exposing the 3 wires inside of the cable, and then strip the insulation back on those and connect them correctly within the light, right? Without getting electrocuted in the process.
How did they shut the power off to the? How they shut the power off to the light?
That's what I'm saying. They didn't. They must not have. They must have worked it hot.
That's okay.
So that leads a lot of credibility to your assertion that this was probably an electrician that did it.
Yeah. In response to Jigglyplum's Aussie, I say oi oi oi. All right. Welcome to the program. What time is it in Australia right now? What day is it?
Is it even Monday?
What day is it?
What are y'all, 12 hours behind? Is it, or should you be in church?
Jigglyplum may be among the unchurched, perhaps. I don't know, though. I don't know. All right. So, moving on with the story here.
if you're over there watching in Australia right now, we definitely want you to be sharing the show with your friends. And I mean, we have an international audience. I would love for it to be a larger one.
I think Jiggly probably works irregular hours. So, fuck it. You know, why am I asking him? Let me check the internet. So most of the population in Australia is going to be on the East Coast. So I guess we'll just say, what's the time in Sydney?
It's almost 10 o'clock. Excuse me.
10 p. Oh, okay.
It's UTC plus 10 over there.
Oh, it's 10 p. It's 10 p.m. Monday. Holy shit! Jigglypump's from the future. Jigglypuff, what's it like out there? What's it like in the future?
The weather tomorrow.
Do we have flying cars in Australia? Do we have replicators?
Is it going to rain this afternoon? I've got some yard work I want to get done.
Yeah. Is it like the Jetsons out there in Australia, or is it like concentration camps and forced vaccination campaigns?
Do you guys even poop anymore, or have you evolved past that?
Well, Jiggly's got a colostomy bag, but that's for other reasons. Okay, Jiggly. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Back to the article. So this is private property, right, Chris? Isn't that what's inhibiting?
Yeah. So apparently part of the problem here is this is happening on private property, and that complicates any enforcement activities. So Lee also pointed out there's a tennis court, there's a garden where they're growing stuff, there's a barbecue pit. Another neighbor summed it up. It's a city in there. It's crazy. It's just crazy. City Council member Katie Yodolovsky said officials are hamstrung because the property is privately owned. It's over-bureaucratic. It's the city at its worst, sort of not being able to get out of its own way, she admitted. Now, that brings up a question. If it's private property, if this is happening on private property, you're telling me that you've got a private citizen who's complicit here? Is this the lot belongs to a Delaware-based LLC that has not responded to inquiries. Yaroslavsky said no trespassing signs will soon go up, allowing police to act. Meanwhile, city agencies are ordering the owner to address trash and security issues, and Public Works will wrap the tampered streetlight to stop further power theft.
They're just going to do it again.
And that brings up more questions. This right here. Are the city officials going to go put up no trespassing signs on the private property? Because
I don't know.
You know, as much as my policy here is trespassers will be shot and survivors will be prostituted, that's my policy on my property. That doesn't mean that the city gets to put up signs to that effect.
You know, there's
right? And if I want those signs, those need to go up at my expense because that's my property.
The thing about Delaware and LLC is that's one of those that's basically the business model of their state. Okay, they have an extremely really low corporate regulation. Okay, and a really favorable tax policy for like LLCs. So there are lots of businesses in the United States that are incorporated in the state of Delaware. Okay, that are not located in Delaware. Same thing with like international shipping, where you'll see like all kinds of ships that are flagged in, say, Panama or something, just because of a low regulatory environment makes it easier for them to do business. So that said, the other problem in Delaware is you've got lots of zombie LLCs where there's something listed on the books, but it probably ceased existing years ago. It just never got cleaned off the records. Okay.
So yeah, Delaware famously has extremely lax laws for LLCs for business generally. And I wasn't Tesla incorporated in Delaware originally? Wasn't?
Yeah.
Remember, about a year ago or so?
Yeah, and then some retarded activist judge.
Well, there was a big to-do. Elon's contract with Tesla had him taking only stock options And it was contingent on him hitting certain growth numbers for the company that were just astronomical. Nobody believed it could happen, and then he hit those growth numbers, and he was supposed to get like hundreds of billions of dollars worth of stock options as the compensation package that was negotiated for. And one shithead who owned like 6 shares of Tesla decided to sue, and it was a Delaware judge that came in and said, "Okay, you know what? Yeah, this is he's asking you to pay him too much money." Well, hold up. He's asking you to pay him the amount of money you agreed to pay him. Right? There is no too much money there, but some judge came in and said, "No, fuck Elon." And Elon said, "Okay, then we're going to move this company out of Delaware." I think I'm 90% certain that was Delaware. So we got this video clip embedded with the article.
An empty lot.
I'm gonna play a little bit. It's only like a 7-minute clip. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but I want to see some of the images from the.
Can I make
South Manhattan Place?
Yeah, go ahead.
One tiny comment from the chat. Aaron Olson asks, "Has the Civil War begun?" Lol. Well, yeah, I know. You probably tuned in this Monday thinking you were going to get like a clip after clip after clip of rage porn regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination. You can get that everywhere else. We dare to be different. Okay, Lowry, proceed.
Well, you know what? I'm going to add something to that.
For sure.
This it's what we do, right?
Yep.
This homeless camp, stuff like this is happening for the same reason Charlie Kirk was murdered. You will become what you tolerate.
Oh man, they're not ready for that kind of macro meta, Chris. Okay, they're not ready for that.
Tolerance is what's killing you.
Place in Koreatown, there's the map, is now the subject of a 7 on Your Side investigation. This kind of gives you an idea where it is. This empty space is nestled near apartment complexes and other buildings between 7th and 8th Street. But this is what it looks like from the air. You've got multiple people calling this space home. You can see the dwellings right there. It's really an encampment, and it's different than others because it's on a private lot, and that proves to be a challenge for neighbors and the city. Investigative reporter Kevin Ozebek spoke with some of the neighbors about their concerns.
Okay, and I'm pausing it right here. I want you guys to look at this. Look at the image here. You see in the center there's that big, it looks like basically they've taken a bunch of large camping tents and just kind of
mishmashed them together,
up to each other.
Yeah.
So you've got a, that looks like a maybe 1,000 square foot tent with rooms that are defined by where the tent doors connect to each other.
Right.
Now, in all fairness, if the climate is sufficient and you're a broke ass bitch, that might not be the worst way to put together a. It's like a kid's clubhouse. Hey, we went to the flea market and they had these tents for $5 a piece, and there's a whole acre over there in the back of the woods that I'm not currently trying to make money off of. So yeah, kids, you can build a clubhouse out of secondhand tents. Have fun.
Yeah, and let's be honest, like the housing situation in many places in California, LA in particular, is actually so bad that as long as it was kept clean, you could like rent a room in your tent house for only $20 a night. It's like a flop house.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, in fact, if you were to set up a bunch of tents like that in the kind of place where the cops just don't come by,
yep.
You could run a pretty successful crack den.
Yeah, you just need to have like you need to have like a Lowry size bouncer, okay, to maintain order there. All right, but when 11 a.m. strikes the next day, you're out one way or another. Okay.
Yeah.
put another Jackson in my hand, or you getting thrown the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I guess the bottom line is
the bottom line is something the bottom line is actually right at the end of the article, okay? Which is, so the mayor, Karen Bass, sent representatives to this homeless encampment, okay? Quote, offering them homes to live in, okay? I don't know what that means, okay? And the people rejected it. Yeah, Mayor Karen Bass' office sent outreach teams that have been sent to offer housing to the people living there. Okay, so apparently whatever the mayor is offering them is worse than where they are living in a basically Freetown here. Okay, Freetown for them is preferable to wherever the mayor is sending them, because the free housing that the mayor is probably offering is maybe a spot in like a dilapidated hotel or something that went out of business, and then the city purchased that hotel, purchased that failed business probably at like twice the market rate, just so that the Patel cartel, got to make their money. They got everything in California is going to be, uh, kickbacks, and it's probably full of like subhumanians. All right. And the people living in Freetown would rather live in a tent in a dirt lot than live packed like sardines with subhumanians at some dilapidated hotel. And I understand that. I totally understand that.
Are you familiar with Slab City?
I've heard of. Is that it's in California? It's like out in the desert. Basically, they got a bunch of like school buses or whatever put together that they took the furniture out and made essentially longhouses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Slab City, also called the Slabs, an unincorporated off-the-grid alternative lifestyle community consisting largely of snowbirds in the Salton Trough area of the Sonoran Desert in Imperial County, California. It took its name from concrete slabs that remained after the World War II Marine Corps Camp Dunlap training camp was torn down. Slab City is known for attracting people who want to live outside mainstream society.
It's literally Fallout.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, so let me go back one and show you guys some images here. Like this is Slab City, the squatter's paradise. So yeah, if you could figure out how to feed yourself,
it's actually a tourist attraction now. People go out there just to see it, and they of course, they got merch. Okay, they got restaurants. They'll feed you. So yeah, tourism largely funds it, and they invite artists to come do stuff. Like artists will come do stuff for for free. But yeah.
We should take a road trip to Slab City sometime, Mario.
Well, we should have done it when we lived in California.
Well, I didn't know it existed until after I left California.
Yeah. We wasted our time going up to San Francisco, before the rot had completely set in.
Yeah.
But I remember even in 2007, like 2007, going to San Francisco, walking down Market Street. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember I remember to this day. All right. I looked across the way from Market Street. There's a park there or something, and there were a bunch of like homeless people dancing around like savages. All right. And with a pile of burning pallets. It was a pile of burning pallets, homeless people on drugs and shit dancing around it like it was some kind of like freaking feather Indian rain dance or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I saw the end of civilization. Okay. And it would grow from that point to consume the entire city.
Yep. So yeah, this is where we're heading, guys. If your state legislature, if your city council is talking about, hey, let's bring in programs to help we've got so many drug addicts in our area. Let's set up some social programs to help them. We can make sure they have clean needles and offer counseling. No.
Yeah, Maine did that.
You'll get more drug addicts. Hey, we can offer shelter to the homeless. No, you'll just get more homeless.
I believe it was Portland, Maine recently did that experiment, okay, and it just blew up in their face. They set up it was an abandoned house, okay? It had been sitting on the market for years. So the city of Portland purchased it and turned it into a safe shoot up site, okay, for drug addicts, okay? What do you think? And they of course, everyone patting themselves on the back for this great act of social justice or whatever. Okay. Well, what do you think happened? Within a year, it had degenerated into a trap house that was so biologically unsanitary that first responders simply could not operate in it, and the whole thing has been condemned. It has been wrapped in like a big tarp, kind of like that, like the fumigator scene from like Breaking Bad, where they. Anyway, it is a biological hazard, a literal biohazard at this point. So, good job.
Yep. All right, guys, that's all I've got for this morning. Mario, I've got some free time this week throughout the days, just the way the schedule jives. I know you're working during the day. We'll talk about this after the show. But guys, if you get a notification, if you've got the Rumble app on your phone, you'll get notifications when we go live. We'll see. I might do a couple of extra little pop-ups here and there this week. So keep an eye on that, and we'll talk to you soon. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
But we've already exceeded all of our metrics, like already for like the month, and it's only halfway through. Maybe
we still have to make the time.
Well, maybe we should just take some days off and leave the audience unbrush fired. Okay, perhaps.
Well, and since you mentioned the metrics, let me just plaster this right over the top of your face. I mentioned that you guys need to download the Rumble app. If you haven't already, make sure you download the Rumble app. It's free, simple to use, and the best way to stay connected to the content you want. Once you've got it, search for my channel and hit follow. That way, you'll get a notification every time we go live. No missed shows, no extra steps. You can grab it right now using the link in the description or the pinned live chat, or by scanning that little QR code that is covering half of Mario's face right now, like the Phantom of the Opera mask. Download it to your phone, and you're ready to go. And if you prefer watching on the big screen, Rumble is available on all major streaming devices or smart TVs. Just search for Rumble, follow the channel, be a part of the action, and leave comments in the live chat so you can win a free month of premium membership. So, you got anything else there, Mario? Come on, say something else smart ass so I can endorse another product.
I want to be like Bernie Sanders, where I just get on TV and tell you to give me money, and you.
I'm gonna bitch about millionaires until I'm a millionaire, and then start bitching about billionaires.
I am once again asking for your support. Okay, I am no longer asking you. Give me your money, Zoomers.
Give me your money. That's right.
Revolution's expensive.
Yeah, everything's expensive when you're spending somebody else's money.
Yeah.
Y'all be safe out there. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Ciao. Push the button.
I've pushed one button. There's another button. We're waiting for the thumbnail to come back up. Okay. I want you guys to look at the thumbnail for a minute. I want the thumbnail there. It's the end of the show.